What you know about springing cards up in the air? Huh? Well, you're about to find out. Long distance spinner. Pissed me off. Could never do it. Springer. Taught myself. I'm about to teach you guys. And if you guys know any good tutorials for the long distance spinner, let me know. But this is just as good, if not better. 52 pickup. So the thing about the long distance spinner that always upset me was the tutorials that I found. They were just like, well, you just need to practice this move where you basically buckle the card and like it shoots up and it buckles like that. It's just like, could never get it. Like, use a rubber tip thumb to practice, and it's just like, no, I don't want to. I don't have a rubber tip thumb where you can get the cards to shoot out like that. And I'm gonna do it from this angle because I can actually see the screen right here and go through it. So first thing you want to do is get rid of about half the deck. And now, because it's gonna make it easier when you're first starting, and your finger positioning is gonna be your right thumb, in your lower hand. I mean, obviously, if you'd prefer to do it over here, you can. I'm left-handed, but I still do it with my right hand. I deal the cards like this, so it works for me. And then you have your index, your middle finger, pinching this corner, top right, thumb in the lower right. And you want like a natural bend in the cards. See how they're not perfect, not perfectly straight. So I mean, you can do one of these guys and just get a little bend because you just need a little crimp in there for the cards to do it better. And so you're in this positioning, and what I notice is you want your middle finger barely really touching, but I mean, it's gonna pinch this corner and cover up this corner, securing the rest of the cards. But what happens if your middle finger's over too much, it's gonna give you this kind of effect, and it's just like, it's not gonna work. So it needs to be on the very corner because it needs that little spacing to be able to launch outward. So, and your thumb can take as much room as possible, or you really have to experiment with your thumb. I haven't even found the perfect placement for it yet, but I usually find about here is good. And to your body, you want to angle it about 30 degrees to the right, and then angle it forward about 30 degrees, not so it's straight up like this. So it's both angling to the right and forward a little bit. And I'm over exaggerating this motion so you guys know what I'm talking about, but because it kind of looks the same from here. And then all you're doing is your index finger is going to come over, and you have to experiment with this too, because your index finger might come on the very top of the card above the border, or sometimes it comes beneath the border and you're just pulling down. It's going to buckle, and you're just going to continue that follow through motion. And you can either try to cup it with the tip of your finger, but I found using the inside of your finger works well to launch the card off. So here's like using the tip of my finger. And then, so I mean, that worked. And then here's using like the inner part of my finger. I'm gonna move my middle finger over a little bit, but here's the inward part of my finger. So it's more consistent. And I'll zoom out so you guys can get a better view of how this looks, but you can get an idea of what's going on there. So basically what's happening is the card's buckling, and as soon as you follow through with that motion, you want to use a new pack of cards so it slips out easily. As soon as you follow through with that motion, it wants to launch off and spin upward. So in a future tutorial, I'm going to be releasing a card trick that involves 5 spectators picking a card, and one of them is you shoot a card out and find their selected card. So it would benefit you to learn this for a future tutorial, as well as some of my previous tips and tricks, but I'll get into that later. Like the hot shot, you'll want to learn that too. But and you'll learn some new stuff in that tutorial too. But we're gonna learn them individually first, and then we can combine them all together. So with this, it's possible, I've seen it done and I've done it, where you shoot the card up and catch it in the fan, and that's cool. I caught it with my finger, but like I've seen it where it just gets stuck right in the fan like that, and that's cool. But I mean, look at that, ace of spades, sweet. And chances of that happening are like pretty tough. So if you want to risk that, then be my guest. If you find a way to perfect it, to catch it in the fan, let me know, because I would love nothing more than to be like, oh, let me find your card, shoot the card out, catch it in there or whatever, and hopefully it doesn't get hooked up like that. And the reason it's getting hooked up is because my middle finger isn't as far over as it should be. And so now that it is, I can really shoot it up, catch it. And so, yeah. As more with this is just one of those things where as soon as you get a card with the bend in it, you can be sitting in front of the computer, whatever, watching TV. It's kind of like the pass, where you're just going to sit there for a little bit and you're just going to play 52 pickup a lot, because you're going to want to practice getting this down, because it's not 100% foolproof until it becomes second nature. And it hasn't quite become second nature to me yet, and especially to catch the card or whatever you need to do. You guys can definitely do this. Like I said, I just watched Dynamo do it, and I was like, man, that's a lot cooler than, not cooler, but it's the same concept as the long distance spinner, but I don't need to get a plastic thumb or whatever, and it just seems like the perfect response to it. So, yeah, this is one that you guys are just going to want to sit down, do your gimmick, and play a lot of 52 card pickup, because I know I have been. I was actually going to hold off on this tutorial until I perfected it, but I feel that you guys will probably know how it's done, and you guys could help me, maybe catching it in the fan and all that cool stuff. There's a lot of fun. It's just a cool flourish to be able to make a card like shoot up. And I'm 52 card pickup empty-handed now. And don't think that you guys only need, or like can only do it with half the deck. Obviously you can do it with multiple cards, but you can use the full deck for sure. And just so when you do it, it allows you to catch it, and so you don't have to put half the deck down and do it. So when it comes showtime, bam, you got it. Other than that, like I said, we have a tutorial coming out with incorporating a lot of the moves that I've already taught into one performance piece. So that's the end of this week's show. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, like this video, go back and watch all my other tutorials, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, and remember to rise above, be inspired to learn, and aspire to disturb. If you guys want to contact me directly, email me personally at howtodisturb@gmail.com with your name and where you're from, and any questions or concerns you may have. Thanks. What you know about springing cards up in the air?